Hey y'all, SuperSonicNinja here. Today I'm trying out something very different. Okay, so I've recently been very inspired by Jet's series on turning Thomas TV series characters into Railway series characters. So I decided, yeah, I would want to do that and come up with backstories while I'm drawing. I'm also partially inspired by the channel's building. I've seen some of their content and I'm like, oh yeah, drawing physical media for a video for once would be kind of cool, seeing as their individual channels also are big digital, like a lot of digital art such as I. And then they use that channel to do some physical art. Whilst I'm not creating yet another channel, I think I will just try this style, and if you like it, I'll make more. Okay, so this here is the setup I got. I think this is the best it's going to get. So we are just going to start drawing. So what I'm deciding to do, such as Jet, is just draw the time lapse, and I'll tell you with the backstory I've come up with along the way. First, we're gonna draw Sonic, and when we get through my 9 drawing, you'll see that it's very, very bad. But Sonic is all that really matters in this image anyway. So we're gonna talk about Sonic. Or in this case, Loner. Yeah, they all have their prime names, and this one is Loner. Loner Sonic, as the merchandise would probably call him. So, in this universe, let's just say Sonic, had his parents die or something. I don't know, something like the movies, I guess. And he just kind of had a dark way since then. It's kind of like, you see how Sonic Movie 3 parallels Sonic and Shadow? This is basically like the universe where Sonic did take that darker path, such as how in this show, it shows Tails gang bully. But yeah, to make things clear, Tails, or 9, still had his tragic backstory, I guess, if you could call it that tragic. But even so, 9 still has the same backstory, but met Loner along the way. Now, I want to clarify that in this timeline, Sonic Prime still happens the way it does, just Sonic meets another version of literally himself, and he also meets another version of Shadow. So that's how I'm gonna do things here, and yeah. One day, Sonic is just in the subway, minding his own business, thinking of a plan, he'd rather just take down those egg freaks themselves, because maybe they were the cause of his parents' deaths. So yeah, along the way he meets 9, and they get into a fight before realizing that their goals are pretty similar. So 9 decides, okay, I'm gonna help this brutal Hedgehog out. And that's kind of where Loner's story ends. A lot of the Prime characters aren't fleshed out, and I hate to say it, but Loner is one of these characters. He's just like another side background character that people will probably make so many stories about. And what happens along the seasons, that's kind of different. So season 1, he's just kind of with Sonic and 9, and eventually reluctantly joins the Rebel Gang. And in season 2, he's also doing that. But when the time comes in season 3, Sonic and 9 actually leave without, what's his name again? Loner, yeah. They leave without Loner, and 9 pulls the same crap, leaving Loner to die, and Loner's feeling insanely betrayed. So I guess in this universe, Sonic Prime season 3 would be a lot better due to the betrayal arc, and maybe it'll cut through the fighting, and it'll make things feel a lot more personal than it was in the actual just long fight from the actual show. So I feel like this is for the better. So yeah, Sonic Loner and 9 are on real bad terms, but eventually they can form a friendship that will at least help. The whole thing with Sonic about to die will probably take place the same, but I don't know, just there being a little art for this Loner character would be really nice. So everybody, here it is. I had a lot of fun with Sonic's color palette, or Loner's color palette. I feel like it looks so good with the blues and the reds and the grays. Now, from my experience with 9, I feel like from now on I'll be drawing these characters without their scene, and I'll just explain their scene from now on. So yeah, maybe if you stick to looking at my community posts, maybe sometimes I'll draw out these scenes, and since I'm literally not recording myself, I will have an easier time, like, drawing these scenes in full. But, like, yeah, you could just pretend Loner and 9 are at the subway station or something, and you know what, don't pretend 9 is there. Loner's, like, the real dude, and he looks so cool, man. Anyway, we're gonna get to Shadow. This is my second take, actually, recording my lore for him, because I also thought of an additional piece that I didn't mention before. So this is my character, Darkness. The character of Darkness is basically, he, like how Knuckles and Rouge, or their New York versions, essentially, like, knew each other before the events of the Eggman takeover. Like that, they both knew, Darkness, and, you know, they never really talked to him because he was, all things considered, a little threatening. Now, I would like to, like, make the whole, like, twist thing, like, he looks tough, but he's actually a really big softie, because I think that'd be kind of funny. So, yeah, I'm doing this as a color, by the way. So, basically, Darkness is just recruited by them, even though, like, they're kind of scared to recruit him, but they recruit him, and, like, they want to use him as the brutal force. But the thing is, whenever they get into fights or anything, he's usually the one trying to protect others, while, like, Knuckles and Rouge are like, yeah, you gotta fight, man, and he's just like, no, I'm gonna protect everyone. And I think that'd be a really fun character. And how would it play into the story? I think he'd just, like, tag along, and he'd have some, like, funny interactions with Sonic. And if Shadow, the real Shadow, ever gets to meet him, I think that would be particularly funny. Now, something I wanted to mention is, even though it's never, the events of Sonic Adventure 2 are never mentioned in the show, I feel like it'd be really, really cool if, let's say, Maria existed in this universe, but was, like, Darkness's mom. Like, a puppy owner, though, because, like, Darkness doesn't talk, kinda. I don't know, that's kind of hard to explain. And the reason that, Darkness wants to protect everyone rather than fight is because, let's say, a version of the Arc attack happened during the Eggman's takeover, and they killed Maria because Shadow was too busy fighting and not protecting. So I think that could be a great part of his character, and I'd really love to see it. I've also, like, changed his, like, gold ring bands to, like, a tealish color because, like, you know, symbolize her. And I also want to believe that Chaos Emeralds would exist in, like, the other Prime universes, so I drew one for him, too. And that's basically all I gotta say about Darkness, and I'll see you once I color him. So this is the completed Darkness Shadow, and I gotta say, he looks really good, and I really like his character, honestly. I might like him more than a Loner just for his character alone. And yeah, if you couldn't tell, he did kind of take some, like, inspiration from the Werehog with, like, how fluffy I was trying to make him, but, like, also, like, threatening, if that makes sense. So yeah, you know what, I think this is where I'll end this video, make it like a sort of 3-parter if you guys want more parts. So let me know. I had a fun time making this video, and I would love to make more Prime variants. And also, I might probably just go back and, like, Chrome Canva or something and actually make these, like, in an art style I'm familiar with. Just you know, I think that'd be a lot better for making drawings. Although, I don't know if I could pull this guy off better digitally, so we'll have to wait and see, guys. So yeah, comment down below if you like the style, and I guess I'll see you next time.